the Wende Neen Show. Now here's your host, Wende Neen.
But let me ask you this. I know oftentimes when females grow up without their dads, they have a tendency to be a little bit more tolerable from a male's behavior than one who does, because they obviously have that guidance. But you had a lot of concern for his daughter seeing this and how that would damage her. Did you ever think at that time how it was affecting you and that you don't deserve this? So why did you continue with him instead of saying, get the daughter out and I get out too? You know?
Yes, I continued because I was really afraid of him. I honestly was afraid of him, but it was always one of those situations where he would promise me to change and he would change temporarily. It's like the damage is still there. Like, you know, when I'm sleeping with my enemy because I'm like, I don't know what your next move is going to be. Like, you telling me if you can't have me, nobody else would have me and you're going to kill me. Like, I'm afraid of all of this. And the whole entire time, nobody knew what was going on. Not my best friend, my mom, sister. Like, nobody knew what. I would have bruises on me. And I would literally wait until, like, you know, my mom makes a lot of random pop-up visits to come and see me and stuff. So I would always ask her, you know, when are you going to come again? Like, just so I can know, like, okay, I have to make sure this bruise is healed before she gets here. People would ask me, I would come to work sometimes with scratches and stuff on my face, and people like, well, what happened to you? And I'm just like, oh, I just bought a new cat. Just making, like, some of the dumbest excuses up sometimes. And it was just getting to the point where I was just getting tired of making up excuses. Like,
So I know you said fear was certainly a factor.
right.
But you loved him, right?
I absolutely did. I guess I did. I thought that's what love was.
So do you believe he loved you?
In a sense, I did, because it was just always like, why would you keep fighting for me? Like, why would you keep fighting to keep me in your life? And, you know, he was adopted. And he would always make excuses. He acts like this because his mom and dad gave him away. His biological mom was 12 years old when she had him.
Oh, wow.
And his dad was 17. Whether, like, he keyed up the side of my car. You know, I told his parents, you know, what happened. And they was like, oh, well, we'll pay for it to get fixed. But they never knew about the actual physical abuse. Until it was just one day where it was another conversation that we were having, and we got into it about, it was really about something small, because he took my phone and he threw it down the balcony. My phone was broke. We lived on the 3rd floor, so he threw it all the way down 3 flights. So he snatched all of my hair out, and I was so scared because I really didn't know what was next, because he had a hammer, and I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what's about to happen next. Like, everything in this house, like, I'll just leave it. And I jumped in my car, and finally the first person that I told was a friend of mine. I actually went to high school with her. She lived up the street from me, and I ran to her house. Like, I banged on her door until she answered the door. And she got in the car with me, and she's like, you know, what's going on? And I'm just like, I don't have on any shoes. My clothes are ripped off me from where I escaped to get out of the house. My hair just a mess all over my head. And I went over to her house, and she was just like, you know, what's going on? Why do you look like this? What's the problem? And I told her what happened. So she was just like, well, you need to call the police. And I'm just like, No, I don't want to call the police. I just want to go to his mom and dad house and tell them like, you need to get your son, like, seriously, you really need to get them. So I went to their house. Nobody answered the door. Nobody answered the phone. I left a note on the door, which they never got. Like, he took the hammer and just ruined everything in my house. And to top it all off, my door was wide open when I returned back home, and he was gone. And once the lease was up, I left. I left and got a 3 months lease at an apartment. And somehow one of his guy friends or somebody found out where I lived and told him where I lived. When he found out where I lived downtown, he followed me home one day.
What was the breaking point? Was it the physical altercation that occurred, that last one that got you to that point to say I'm done, or what clicked to say I gotta go?
The breaking point was more so when I ended up getting a management position at my previous job, and I lost my management position from so many call outs to black eyes and, you know, bruises on me, and I can't go to work because he wants to fight with me before I go to work, and you know, I have a scratch here that I can't really explain to anybody what's going on with me. You know, just like everything that I try to accomplish, you know, I'm missing class. I'm behind in schoolwork now because I can't go to school because I have to sit up here and tussle and fight with you for whatever reason, whatever the case may be, because of your insecurities. And you're not a bad looking person, so you definitely can find somebody else if you don't want to be with me. Over this, like, I lost a really good job because of you. So it's just like I'm over you at this point.
That's certainly good for you that you got to that point. Let me just ask this: when you would have the bruises and the black eyes and having to come up with excuses, did he ever know you were having to do this, come up with excuses, and did he ever discuss, you know, the damage that he had done? Did he talk about it? Did he admit that I did this to you?
He would say sorry, and that was it. I think he was more fearful of my mom. It was one time when I had a bruise on my leg, and I bruise really bad when I'm stressed out too. So sometimes the bruises would come up, and I don't even know whether they were from him or just from me being stressed altogether. Right. And I had a long one going down the side of my arm, and my mom came in town. She just always made these random pop-ups. So she came over, and she was just like, I'm in town. I'm probably like 30 minutes away from your house. So he was like, so what you gonna tell your mom happened to your arm? And I was just like, you know, I'll just tell her that I'm really, really stressed out. Like, you know, it was around the time of finals. My mom knew I bruised when I was stressed out. Right. So I was just like, you know, I'll just tell her that, like, you know. So when she saw it, it was kind of like more so like, you know, I don't believe you now. Like, I don't believe you saying this is what happened to your arm, because it's scratches around it. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, scratches aren't just going to come up on you for no reason. So she really didn't believe me then. And the very, very last straw to where, you know, I tried to get a restraining order on him, and I went over to the police department to put one against him, and the police officer was more interested in getting my phone number versus my well-being. And at this point, I was just done. Right. So I moved over all the way on the other side of town. I had spent so much money in moving costs, breaking the lease, paying that cost to break your lease. I spent so much money doing that, and once again, he found me. Wow. So it's like, I can't get away, but I'm done running now. My foot is messed up for the rest of my life from running away from him. And I got a hairline fracture. The doctor asked me to stay off my foot for 2 weeks. I had to work. Like, you know, I didn't have any other help. Right. And it just finally got to the point where when he found me the last time, I was just like, I'm restraining orders. I called the police. At this point now, everybody in my family, my mom, my sisters, my friends, this is what's been going on with me. This is why I keep moving. When y'all asking me why I keep moving, this is why. This is what's going on. Because I'm actually running. So every now and then while I'm at work, like my foot will flare up really, really bad to the point where I have to sit down because it's still not properly healed. My mom, she was just so hurt, like, because she never knew, that this was actually going on with me. So, I have a restraining order against him now. He's ordered to stay away from me. I have to renew it. You have to keep renewing a restraining order. It's been a little over a year and I haven't seen him.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, you've told your story of what you endured. There is others out there who are experiencing the same. What advice would you give to them?
The advice that I would give, like, if you feel like you're just in a situation that you can't get out, like, just get help from somebody. If you have to talk to somebody that your best friend, like your closest friend, like whoever it is, somebody is help out there. Somebody will help you. You don't have to air out your business to everybody. Like, you don't have to tell the world what's going on with you. You definitely don't have to do that. But just remember that you're strong. Like, you don't have to go through that because it's somebody else that's deserving of you, that's willing to treat you like a queen, because that's what I have right now. He treats me like he worships the ground that I walk on.
That is good.
If you just feel like, and I just got myself like in that, like just in the mood of like dating somebody.
Right.
Like, because like, it was kind of like, I don't want a guy near me. I don't know what you're capable of. You can yawn and stretch, and I'm thinking you're going to hit me. So I really don't even want you near me. But it's definitely help out there. Like I said, just talk to one of your closest friends. Let somebody know what's going on with you, because I honestly feel like sometimes I'm happy to be here to tell my story, because it was a possibility that, he wanted to kill me. If he couldn't be with me, no, he didn't want nobody else with me either. But it's definitely help out there, and don't feel like you're in this alone either. Like, it's somebody out there like me going through I went through the same exact thing. So it's somebody out there. If you want to talk to somebody, just let them know what's going on, and don't stay with a man just because everything is all cookies and cream. Like, just make sure that you're definitely happy. And if you have to question yourself about the person that you're with, it's definitely a problem. 9 times out of 10, you have no business with that person.
Right. Exactly. I totally agree with you, and sounds like you found new love.
I did.
And you're happy. And you're also getting your master's degree, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And you're working 3 jobs now?
Most definitely.
Well, there you have it. You've heard it. There is life after a battle with love. Jazz, I want to thank you again for being on the Wende Neen Show and sharing your story. And I am confident that someone has truly been touched by the information that you've shared with us. This is how we do it. It is what it is. It is done. Until next time, au revoir.